Thanks everyone for coming back to another segment of the MCR. Mac and me, my name's TJ. And in this segment, we would like to give our thoughts and comments on the developments involving the subway incident last week, where a prior service Marine by the name of Daniel Penny kind of choked to death. I say choked to death for lack of a better description. Had him in some kind of a neck hold, and a homeless man, an unhoused man by the name of Jordan Neely passed away. Well, he was going back to when it initially occurred. The police did not take Penny into custody. He was kind of he gave a statement and released. Also, it appears other passengers gave statements also, which we'll talk about here in a minute. But there was, as usual, by the numbers, out came the protesters. When we talked about how they were jumping down on the tracks, in one of the protests, people couldn't even exit off the subways because the protesters would en masse stand in front of the doors, basically not even allowing the passengers to exit the subway at whatever stop they needed to. If it was their stop.
They're detaining people illegally and being allowed to do it.
Yeah. So, and that was the extent of the protesters. Well, in our segment last week, we kind of made our feelings known. We feared that the district attorney, Alvin Bragg, was going to give in to political pressure. He, in fact, did. Now Daniel Penny is, he is being charged with second-degree manslaughter. He's out on a $100,000 bond. If he's found guilty, he could do up to 15 years in prison. And I got to tell you, this just sucks. Thoughts so far, Mac?
Well, I had a couple of things. I had read in my research, and I forget where I read it. I should have made note of it, but I didn't. 27 people have been killed on the subway this year. 27 in various events. But this one is getting the most attention. Why? Because it's a white guy and a black guy. And for all as much as we wish the skin color classifications would go away, they're not, and they're being used by people on the left for everything. Most of the protesters that were keeping people from going to their jobs, black, white, Hispanic, Asian, were being stopped by white leftists.
Well, people that he was accosting, the very people that what's his name, Daniel Penny, stepped in to basically protect. They are reporting Neely was making a statement to the effect of, "I don't care. I'll take a bullet. I'll go to jail." He said he would kill a mother effer. "I don't care. I'll take a bullet." And this is what he was saying if they didn't give him money or food.
Well,
okay.
Clearly he had some issues. In fact, he was on a watch list in New York State. They actually have a watch list of people who are known to be dangerous that they did nothing about. To me, if I were Neely's family, I would maybe be talking to a Jeffrey Feiger type lawyer about that. That they knew he was a problem, but they let him do what he was doing. They just were keeping an eye on him.
One of the passengers being accosted by Neely is reporting, and I'm going to paraphrase here because I don't have an exact quote, but they said Penny did not initially engage with Neely during the wild rant until things got out of hand and he felt the urge to step in. Neely wasn't just ranting, he was reportedly throwing things at passengers as his anger escalated. A subway rider told the New York Post that she went back to Neely went back and thanked Neely for protecting them on that day, and that she is now praying for him. I'll tell you what, I hope these people are called to witness and testify, on his behalf.
They will, but I don't believe it's going to matter.
Well, you could be right.
I mean, you got 8 million. You got 8 million leftists in that city.
Yeah.
Are there conservatives there? Sure, but they don't matter. They're overwhelmed.
There is a defense fund for the Marine, and it is at the time the article was written, they had it at 977,000. I wouldn't be surprised if it's over $1 million now.
Yeah.
Hopefully that's adequate to assist him in his defense. And one final thought: Governor DeSantis out of Florida has officially came out and made it known that he is in support for Penny's defense. So, Governor DeSantis has taken a political stance on this New York City incident. So that's all I got for this one. I suppose we'll talk more as this plays out. You know what? This could take weeks into months. Who knows?
In future videos, we're going to address also comments that were made, because some of the comments that were made on the video we did last week were, I thought, pretty outrageous.
Well, and since you brought that up, yeah, and hopefully in our next segment we will talk about a particular comment on this incident, and the individual he made some assumptions about Mac and me that we will address. Okay, so that's, I guess you could call that a shameless tease for our next segment. And with that, I'm going to close with, as always, be safe, watch your six, and don't tread on me.